Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I think the hosts have introduced me very well, so I will not go into introducing myself. I have actually incorporated my contact details. So if you need to reach me by cell phone or my email address, please take a quick snapshot of my contact detail. I know my name is a little bit difficult to pronounce. It is Kwang Hui. If you want to call me by my initial KH, I think that will be easier,
H,
and I'm
yes.
fine with that. So let me go into the presentation proper. I know I have like 45 minutes, although I've got 100 slides. No, I'm just kidding. I have only 24 slides, so I should be able to finish this on a timely manner, I hope. So let me start. So let me talk about today. The solution is about how Aruba can actually address and meet the need of many large distributed enterprise. And this is primarily, talking about customers with multiple branches. So let me define the branches. So the branch is basically the store in the retail mall, for example, hotel or even hospital. And this is where it all happens. The branch is where business interact with their customers. And delivering exception experience to people and devices in this location is more important than ever. Aruba SD branch is all about connecting employees, guests, and devices at branch location to application, data, and system across the entire infrastructure, the entire enterprise, from private to public virtual data center and software as a service, simply, seamlessly, and securely. Managing distributed enterprises in good time is challenging. Now, make worse with the global pandemic where countries are in various stages of lockdowns. So let's talk briefly about some of the technology disruption and legacy branch architecture approaches facing our distributed enterprise customers today. In the past, an enterprise was comprised of campus, branch, and the data center, and you connect them together. Today, the data center is no longer just a data center. It is a virtual private cloud sitting in AWS. It could be sitting in Microsoft Azure. It could be a SaaS. Your applications are everywhere. The traditional branch network architecture weren't designed to address this, as all traffic is backhauled to the data center. And the private wide area network connections to the data center are complex to manage and costly when you consider much of the traffic isn't accessing on-prem corporate resources. I'll talk about device sprawl and operation for the branch in my next slide. Let's move on to the next challenge here. The IoT and OT, or operating technology, systems like heating, ventilation, and air conditioning are presenting increasing security risks within the enterprise. Multiply that risk by hundreds or even thousands of branches, and it becomes extremely disruptive. Let's take a look at the silver lining above the dark cloud. I like to look at problems as opportunity, as my mentor previously told me. Every problem presents an opportunity. And let's take a look at what are some of the opportunity for our partners here in the Philippines. The trend is towards multi-cloud. Gartner is expecting 90% of enterprise to adopt public cloud infrastructure as a service by 2022, which is actually next year. And this translates to 623 billion US dollars by 2023 worldwide. So this is a significant opportunity for all our partners here to actually take advantage of this trend to make some business and to make some money and to retire a quota for your company and for yourself. Now, this is the slide I talk about the device sprawl that is happening at the branch office. It basically compared the traditional branch office to what we are going to talk about as the branch policy today. So on the left, you may see some of these multiple devices here. Within the branch location itself, there are complexity and increased security risk. There is an abundance of disparate devices that must be managed by specialists using discrete tools that don't talk to each other and have different operational models. And each device becomes a policy enforcement point. Managing those policies and ensuring consistency and compliance across the silo becomes a nightmare. And you can see some of these examples of devices that I've illustrated on the screen, such as the use of WAN optimization appliance that basically help you throttle and do compression, for your WAN connectivity. Some branch office may even deploy firewall that allows you to do zone-based firewalling, allows you to do packet filtering technology such as ACL, allows you to have whitelist, blacklist, you name it. And you even have additional appliance for routers that supports VRF, VPN, subnet, and you add on additional ACL as well. So as you can see, this number of devices are deployed in silo at different stages of the deployment. And this means that having too many different tools become very difficult to give you contextual awareness into your branch office. What Aruba aims to do with SD Branch is that we actually integrate firewall WAN optimization into one single gateway, which you guys are familiar, and I'll talk about that later on in my next few slides. And allowing Aruba gateway at the branch office and even allowing you to deploy our gateway at the data center allows you to be able to optimize, and with Aruba Central, use single pane of glass management encompassed with zero trust security, with AI ops, unified infrastructure. You now are able to manage everything from that single pane of glass management. Before I go into the SD branch solution, let's take a look at Aruba's ESP architecture that we announced formally last year in June during the lockdown in Singapore. Like what we did when we wrote Aruba's mobility first architecture, it was primarily to help customers adapt to mobility era. Aruba ESP, or Edge Services Platform, is the industry first AI-powered cloud-native platform at the top of the screen. AI Ops is what gives Aruba Network a sixth sense that allows you to resolve issues before they impact your business, or at least resolve them faster so your business keeps humming. Number two, unified infrastructure, which is the layer right at the bottom. This allows your organization to eliminate operational silos and streamline operation by unifying operation across wired, wireless, and even SD-WAN, from campus to the branch, remote worker, and even data center into a cloud-native single pane of glass management, the tool that we use to manage called Aruba Central. The third pillar, Aruba Zero Trust Security. Zero Trust Security allows your organization to simplify the task of securing your edge from IoT devices while also simplifying security operation by eliminating the need for static configuration and cumbersome ACL that are creating untenable pressure on your IT teams. As a service, which is the fourth the pillar, allows organization to tremendously and flexibly in how you consume and pay for the technology you need to accomplish your goals. Each of these attributes are delivered from Aruba ESP architecture, which is comprised of three layers. The bottom layer is known as the infrastructure layer. This is where the physical devices live and is the layer through which data travels from point A to point B. And this includes devices like your access point that you're very familiar with, include wired switches that you're familiar with, include gateway, formerly known as Aruba Mobility Controller, the 7000 series, the 7200 series, and recently the 9000 series that we have also launched. The middle layer is the software-defined policy layer. Some in the industry refer to this as an overlay. This is the layer where many of Aruba ESP's security services operate to provide traffic segmentation, firewalling, etc. And I will spend some time talking about security and how we implement security on Aruba SD branch later. The top layer is the layer from which organizations derive the most value from Aruba ESP, because this is where many of the services used to interact with the platform lives. Services such as management, orchestration, locationing, etc. lives here and are exposed to user via Aruba Central, our cloud-native single pane of glass management tool. With this architecture and through Aruba Central, organization can configure, manage, report, and even troubleshoot across all network domain, including wired, wireless, and SD branch, and location, including campus, the branch office, data center, cloud, and including remote worker, as we are working from home today, or at least most of us are. Now, obviously, the product and services that made up the Aruba ESP represent a comprehensive portfolio, and very few organizations are in a position to deploy everything into a greenfield. Most will take incremental steps. So we created a 3-step framework known as connect, protect, and last but not least, analyze and act, for you to see key consideration and steps you can take. To address the WAN challenges, our SD-WAN portfolio consists of head-end gateway and branch gateways of multiple size, ranging from small offices with up to thousands of devices, medium offices that can support up to 2,000 devices, and for large offices that can support above 4,000 devices. So depending on the size of customers that you're selling, Aruba has a solution that meets all the requirements. We also offer a virtual gateway to extend the SD-WAN to the cloud. To address the challenges within the branch, we have our traditional portfolio of access points that are made up of Aruba Wi-Fi 6, the AP500 series. We have Wi-Fi 5, the AP300 series. We also have a gateway that you are very familiar with. In fact, most of the hardware that I'm talking about today are not new. They have been in the industry for a long time, and our partners in the Philippines have already been selling them. So you should be very familiar on how to address this solution for your customers. Let's take a look deeper into Aruba SD Branch. Now, Aruba SD Branch value proposition is centered on 3 key pillars. And I'll spend the rest of my slides talking about these 3 key pillars and how Aruba is addressing the needs of our customers. The first pillar is to help simplify IT experience with enterprise class scale. While SD-WAN enable IT to modernize the WAN infrastructure, routing alone is not enough. Unified management and provisioning across your wireless LAN, your LAN, and your WAN speak to a higher branch-wide context. And that's where the second pillar is all about. It's about focusing on proactively optimizing user experience to reduce help desk ticketing and improve expediency in solving problems. The third pillar brings Aruba's integrated best-in-class security to the branch, along with the integration with Aruba's extensive portfolio of ecosystem partners. Let's spend some time talking about the first pillar. The first pillar brings branch wireless LAN and LAN together with SD-WAN capability for distributed enterprises that lack on-site IT support. Aruba Central brings together unified dashboards, configuration, and visibility to improve overall management experience for networks that traditionally fall behind campus-style network with a host of on-site IT personnel. Unified cloud-based zero-touch provisioning across highly distributed network remove the need for manual configuration on-site, but the real significance is fully refocusing IT efforts on mission-critical next step initiative. Modernization in onboarding then can be handed off to non-technical resources or system integrator who use a mobile app to barcode scan devices and gain access confirmation for when they've been through online or brought online, especially for organizations with not just hundreds, but thousands of locations across the large distributed geographies. This dramatically improves efficiency and time to deliver. And let me do a quick demo in the next slide here. Over here, the mobile app that I just talked about have the ability to use the camera that is built in into your phone, and you could easily use a barcode scanner to scan the serial number and the MAC address of Aruba branch gateway. This quickly allows you to be able to onboard the devices into Aruba Central, and without the need for any engineers, you could actually now be able to drop ship these devices to your remote sites or to your customers' remote sites across Philippines or across the globe. And you are able to onboard them easily and quickly by allowing you to use GUI without the need for any command interface to onboard those devices. And with that view, you can have a good glimpse of what is happening to that devices you are installing, whether the devices have licenses, whether it is onboard and online or not. The next pillar, superior user experience, is about providing IT with insight into ongoing network health, make network adjustment, and proactively simulate the impact of network changes prior to impacting user in the branch environment. Aruba brings unique contact awareness to the WAN, enhancing routing policies with user and device level intelligence for more granular and dynamic quality of service. For most value here is that this only requires a single point of policy enforcement, regardless of scale, across your branch, WAN, LAN, and even your wireless LAN, and can be customized based on IT requirement. SD branch provide the inside view of network performance and experience from edge to cloud. Aruba user experience sensor deliver simple, continuous monitoring and testing of wireless LAN, and WAN with AI-powered awareness of network health and performance. The UXI sensor, or user experience insight sensor, helps diagnose, troubleshoot, and even detect anomalies before issues arise. Aruba UXI sensors complete your understanding of the network and are designed to run in the background and blend into Aruba and non-Aruba environment. Aruba SD branch is based on unified role-based application-centric policies that centrally define for all users and entities and network domains. This is what we call dynamic path selection or dynamic path steering. Not only can the administrator specify policies for approximately more than 3,200 different applications, they can also leverage user and device roles to classify traffic, whether it is for employee, contractor, or guest, or if you have devices such as a camera, printer, or your heater, ventilation, and air conditioning units. Classification includes, but are not limited to, applications that are employee-based, such as business-critical apps like voice or video related. If you are selling to the retail industry, this includes your point-of-sale terminal. Or if you are selling to hospitality customers, this includes your hotel guest internet access. The SLA, or service level agreement, parameter for each of these classification can be set up per user and application category. The parameters include maximum value for delay, for jitters, for loss, and even utilization. For example, you can say that voice should never exceed 150 millisecond SLA or more than 1% packet loss. Should this be breached, the link automatically fail over to the path preference that you can set. This setting determines the path preference, and I just briefly talk about. And in this case, in my slides, I have MPLS, I've got the direct internet link, as well as cellular technology like 4G LTE, and fallback options per application category, which you can configure. Customers who augment MPLS circuit with broadband links may configure user voice application flows to dynamically fail over to an internet path without dropping the call. For more information, I have included a URL that you can read on Aruba SD-WAN dynamic path steering. So please go ahead later on, if you have slides, click on the link and read more detail, because there is a good white paper that go into detail of how this is being done and how to configure Aruba dynamic path steering for SD branch. And I encourage all of you to read that. Let's take a look at how dynamic path selection, dynamic path steering is in action. So in this scenario, the branch is using multiple uplinks. Business critical application default to MPLS uplink, and that link to your corporate enterprise data center. Other web traffic can traverse directly to the internet without going into the data center. And I've included 3 different service providers here as an example. For the branch office that goes into your corporate data center, your branch office that goes into the multi-cloud provider like AWS or Microsoft Azure. And if you have SaaS services or software as a service application like Google, Office 365 or Dropbox, they can go through different paths. And should any of the link be compromised due to compromising of the SLA, it will fail over to your backup link and vice versa. Now, IT team can adopt a scalable edge to cloud security needed for Zero Trust and SASE model. Now, SASE stands for Secure Access Services Edge, and it's a term coined by Gartner. Now, this aims to provide a comprehensive security control across the stalls that you have, the users, and even devices. Branch locations are secure using critical security capabilities such as firewall, role-based dynamic segmentation, which I'll talk about in the next few slides, as well as intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system, IDS, IPS, as well as web content filtering. Dynamic segmentation used to be a wireless enforcement mechanism, is now available on wired access and can reroute traffic to the gateway for inspection and enforcement. Identity could be a user, a device, or even group. The solution can tell that this is either a Mickey on her phone over a VPN connection. This means that we can control who sees what application based on the device they use. We provide single point of policy enforcement in branch because we are based on open standards, we can work and support third-party integration with more than 140 security eco partners, such as Checkpoint, Palo Alto, Zscaler, to name a few. Let's talk a bit more about the high-performance secure branch gateway. This is the brain within the branch that instantiates the SD-WAN overlay. It is also where all the wired and Wi-Fi segmentation and policies enforced, along with IDS, IPS, and content and web content filtering. These are hardware that many of our partners in the Philippines have already been selling. For example, we have the 7000 series branch gateway that you can use for branch office. We have the 7200 series that you are selling for the corporate data center if you are deploying it as a head-end gateway. So we have gateway of all sizes that you can sell for different size of customers, whether they are small, medium, or large. Aruba branch gateway are 10 times better in performance than full stack vendor. As you could see on the screen, we offer 5 times more WAN ports for flexible, high availability options, and the ability for us to support up to 64,000 active firewall sessions, all integrated into the same appliance. For partners who are going to sell Aruba IDS, IPS, please take note that IDS, IPS is a feature and functionality that is supported on Aruba 9000 series gateway only. So take note, 9000 series gateway have that function and capability to integrate IDS and IPS. The 7000 series and the 7200 does not have that functionality today. Let me dive a little bit more onto Aruba dynamic segmentation as I promised earlier. Now, Aruba dynamic segmentation automatically enforces consistent policy across your wired and wireless network to keep traffic for any user or device separate and secure, regardless of the application or service. To make IoT devices secure, we offer dynamic segmentation, which allows you to have a dynamic policy that creates microsegment based on a device type or user role. And using ClearPass, you are able to define those roles, and the infrastructure will implement those roles and create a network overlay and microsegment for every device or user through our mobility controller, or now it is known as the gateway. This is a very powerful way to segment your network without having to do a lot of manual configuration or having too many VLANs. The tunnels are built dynamically for devices based on the policy that are set and are applied end-to-end across the network, including both wireless and wired. So what does this translate? Better consistent user experience, simpler network operation by eliminating VLAN sprawl, by reducing configuration of SSID that map to a VLAN, ACL, or even subnet. This also translates to improved security as well as device visibility. Now take note, customers who deploy Aruba dynamic segmentation, there is no need for a forklift upgrade. This means that we actually help to manage customers' risk in pandemic, and in situations like this, customers cannot afford downtime. We allow you to start migrating from the edge of a network and slowly replace them at the core if you choose to do so at a later time. Aruba dynamic segmentation works not just in Aruba environment, but it works with any vendor environment. Aruba and AWS have partnered to deliver a fully automated, scalable, and software-defined experience to easily connect branches to the AWS network. Separately, we have also partnered with Microsoft to deliver branch connectivity to Azure Virtual WAN network. This partnership utilizing Aruba SD-WAN for the branch solution enables secure branch to AWS or Microsoft Azure connectivity and branch-to-branch connectivity across AWS and or Microsoft-powered backbone. Let me spend some time talking about the complete portfolio of what Aruba has to offer. First of all, you may have noticed that for customers who have existing Aruba infrastructure, such as the use of Aruba 7000 series branch gateway or the 7200 series head-end gateway, we allow you to be able to connect from anywhere and work from anywhere. If you are a single remote worker, teleworker, all you need to do is to deploy Aruba VIA client. This is the client that works on Microsoft. That works on Microsoft OS, allows you to be able to install and on any mobile devices, and allows you to be able to connect securely from anywhere without the need for manual reconfiguration of your VPN client. This allows you to leverage your existing investment of Aruba controller or Aruba gateway for customers who already have deployment of Aruba infrastructure. For customers who have a branch office who needs to have multiple devices going through the VPN tunnel, we have IAP that can be used as micro branch. IAP or remote access point is an access point that you can use to actually tunnel traffic without the need for you to set up, without having for you to set up an IPsec tunnel manually. The remote access point will automatically establish a VPN connection from anywhere, whether it is from home or it is from hotel location, or if you are actually in a remote office, the IAP remote access point automatically set up the VPN tunnel using IPsec that terminates into your head-end gateway. And for maximum integration, we encourage our customers to make full use of the infrastructure. And if you are an existing user of Aruba 7000 series controller, our gateway, you can further optimize this by integrating it with by integrating with your software-defined LAN, your wireless WAN, as well as LAN, or integrating and managing through Aruba Central. SilverPeak solution comprised of a couple of components. So if you are looking at SilverPeak, there is also the SilverPeak solution. And the SilverPeak solution comprised of Unity Edge Connect, the Unity Orchestrator, and the Unity Boost. The Unity Edge Connect can be a physical or virtual appliances that deliver always consistent, always available application performance. The Unity Orchestrator enables IT to rapidly and centrally define application QoS, quality of service, and security policies to thousands of sites. Unity Boost is an optional WAN optimization performance pack that improves the performance of latency-sensitive application. Customers who choose SilverPeak prefers freedom of choice as the solution offers any transport, any cloud, any deployment model that provide best of breed partners integration with a single click. So this slide shows you a complete portfolio of Aruba Secure Edge that our partners in the Philippines can sell to your customers, whether it is a single site connectivity, multi-sites, or even hundreds or thousands of sites. We have the full portfolio, the complete portfolio with best solution for each use cases. Okay, and obviously the proposal for many of our partners here is to go with Aruba SD branch for best of breed technology and for you to manage Aruba solution through Aruba Central. Now, let me spend some time talking about two customer case study. These two case study are a very large case study, and there are actually a good amount of detail that you can read from our online portal or Aruba website. So let me briefly go through some of these use cases or customers scenarios. So Veris is a nearly 50-year-old company headquartered in Jersey City, in New Jersey in the US, and they have grown to about 9,000 employees in more than 100 locations that span across 33 countries. The company wanted to transform their legacy mainframe and on-prem silo enterprise infrastructure to achieve a unified all-cloud vision. Now, an RFP was called, and Aruba, along with many different vendors, was, participating, and we did a thorough POC, and Aruba eventually emerged as a winner. The solution that the customer Veris chose of Aruba comprised of our latest and greatest Wi-Fi 6 indoor access point. It encompassed Aruba 7200 series head-end gateway at the data center, and they have also Aruba 7000 series as a branch gateway. Veris incorporated Aruba Central automation capability, including SD-WAN, Orchestrator, and SaaS Express. With web-native SD-WAN Orchestrator, Veris can achieve highly scalable, multi-tenanted tunnel and route orchestration, automating the establishment of IPsec tunnel and distribution of traffic routes to all the gateways. The outcome was obviously enormous. Other than cutting down deployment time from days to hours, and this translates to significant cost saving, the customer also achieved their global workforce Office 3.0 goals. Now, for full detail, please visit this particular case study in arubanetworks.com website and for more detail, because it is a good 4-page article, and I just summarized them into one single slide for you for easy digestion. Again, for more information, please go online and read them. This is the second case study that I would like to share with you today. Now, Prime is a US real estate property agent company with more than 500 employees and operate in more than 50 locations throughout the United States. Prime's residential division operates an expanding list of mid-market and upscale multi-family properties. To meet the high customer service standards and achieve their growth goals, they need a reliable, future-proof solution that will easily scale and adapt. The customer were using an expensive MPLS-based WAN and aging competitors' networking gear. They needed to eliminate the bottleneck inherent with their existing hub and spoke MPLS system. After evaluating several options from different vendors, of course, including Aruba, Prime Group selected a comprehensive SD branch solution from Aruba. Among other things, the implementation enabled migrating multiple back office solutions to the cloud. One of the business productivity tool was Microsoft Office 365 and cloud-hosted Microsoft phone system for voice telephony and Skype for business. Although they were initially concerned about audio quality over public internet connections, they soon discovered it was considerably better than their private MPLS circuits. The outcomes were great, and the outcomes were all shown on the far right of the screen here. The ROI was immediate after switching to Aruba SD branch. Performance improved 20-fold, reliability shot up, and cost saving were considerably high. According to the VP Pathfinder, the help desk teams can resolve issue up to 40% faster, significantly improving productivity for IT staff and business users alike. So these are the two use cases that I would like to share with all of you here who are online with me in this VST ECS Tech Summit Forum. So we have two customers. We have Prime as well as Veris in the earlier slides. Needless to say, we are thrilled to be on CRN's list of the 5 hottest SDM products of 2020. That was last year, July. The article is actually included into this slide here. So this was dated July 31st, 2020. So it's very new. Aruba SD branch now includes Aruba Unified Branch Defense capability enhanced public cloud on-ramp, functionality with zero trust, and a branch gateway that offer connectivities using cellular technology. The security update last year are particularly important for distributed enterprises. And I encourage all of you here to click on the link when you have access to my slides. Read the article by CRN for more detail. For 3 years in a row, Gartner has recognized Silverpeak, newly acquired by HPE Aruba, as a leader in the Magic Quadrant for WAN Edge infrastructure. Further, HPE Aruba has been positioned as a visionary for its SD branch offering. We believe the combination of Silverpeak Unity Edge Connect SD-WAN Edge platform and the Aruba SD branch and remote worker offering will provide us with an unprecedented opportunity to deliver a comprehensive business-driven WAN Edge solution that will enable enterprise to drive business innovation from the network edge. Not only are we in the leader quadrants, we're also positioned furthest overall in completeness of vision in the latest Gartner Magic Quadrant that it is titled Magic Quadrant for Wired and Wireless LAN Access Infrastructure. And this article was published April last year. I believe a new article will be out in a very short near future. So our mission is to deliver secure edge to cloud solution that uses AI and machine learning to make things simpler, faster, and more automated for IT. We also want your network to drive powerful network outcomes for years to come. That means your network is set up for today's challenge and whatever the future holds. Let me summarize. These are the 3 key differentiators of Aruba software-defined branch solution. It brings together unique components that set us apart from our competitor, specifically that we can enable all this capability using a single architecture that enable a common framework over your wireless LAN, your LAN, wide area network, and even security. This is a very different approach from our largest competitor in the networking space, where different networking solutions are positioned for different customer use cases. Anytime a customer needs to change or transition to a different set of requirements, they need to rely on vendors' ability to support their transition or completely rip and replace their deployment. This can take a lot of hours, money, and most of all, time to implement. While we recognize that some perceive our product releases as been there, done that, we announce them as part of a fully integrated solution designed to meet the larger requirement to simplify, secure, and scale to the needs of distributed enterprise network who would otherwise have to solve cloud, IoT, and mobility challenges for each operational silo in sequence. Context awareness is the key that binds our capability to interconnect wireless LAN, WAN, and security, and dynamically adjust to changing needs. We also continue to emphasize our multi-vendor and third-party integration points with continuing investment made in our technology ecosystem to enable organizations to utilize best-of-breed security or insight with RESTful APIs. IT can adopt a scalable zero-trust security methodology from edge to cloud, leveraging comprehensive security control across the stalls if you are operating in the retail space, users, and even devices. Branch locations are secure using critical security capabilities such as firewall, role-based dynamic segmentation, which I've talked about earlier on in one of my slides, intrusion prevention system and intrusion detection system, IDS-IPS, that is available on Aruba 9000 series gateway, as well as web content filtering. Security can be further extended with integration with a number of leading cloud security partners. Before I hand the slide and the mic back to our host, I would like to encourage our partners to invite your customers to visit Aruba Virtual EBC that is in Singapore. Now, obviously, with the pandemic and the border shutdown, we can't travel, but you can make an appointment with our team to visit the Virtual EBC to have a more interactive demo. And if there's a need to, we can even do a POC for your customers in the Philippines. Now with this, I'm going to hand back. I believe I am probably ahead of time slightly, and I hand the mic back to the host to see if there's any questions for me.